Hey, hey, Soul Tribe. Welcome to your week ahead reading. And oh my God, what is it with this two-faced mofo that keeps showing up in your energy? I got this card of karmics. There's some real haters, but you've been learning so many lessons over the last couple of weeks that in a lot of ways, it's sort of like you're running. Like you're just it's like I'm hearing run away, run away if you want to survive. Like we're gonna have a look at the week ahead. We're gonna be splitting up the timelines to see what could be manifesting for you. And we're gonna be asking TGIF, are you in for a good Friday or a bad Friday? So if this sounds like your two-faced mofo reading, please stick around. If we haven't met yet, my name is High Priestess Berry, psychic medium and divine channeler, hoping to bring you a very entertaining message. Now, always remember, my messages are candid, unscripted, but they are also timeless, so please tap into your instincts, listen to your intuition. If there is anything that I talk about that doesn't make any sense, totally fine. Do not worry about it. This message may not be for you, but if it does resonate, please let me know by liking and sharing your situation in the comments below. Wow. So, after we go through all that shuffling, soulmate, two-faced soulmate. It's been kind of cool for you guys over the last couple of weeks as we've been sort of seeing what's going on in the episode that is your life, the TV series that is your life. Um, a lot of you guys are putting away the old and trying to bring in the new. A lot of you guys, you want a romantic partnership, in some ways friendship. And for those of you who are on the twin flame journey, like there's a few of you out there, it's sort of like, I just wish my twin flame would show up. I just miss my friend. Like there's a longing that's going on while you're trying to cut through a lot of the bullshit. I feel like this week's reading is to kind of give you a ray of hope to let you know that you are doing all the work you need to do. And when I say do the work, it is kind of interesting. I do got the card of legal and just nightlife. It's going to be so important that you stay focused this week. It's going to be tempting to want to blow off some steam, especially if you have any kind of, taxes, having to deal with some divorces, having to deal with contracts. Like there's a lot of it's not friction, but it is very dense, the energy for this particular week. But there's an ask in here to keep yourself anchored into your original intention as to what it is you want to get out of your life, what it is you want to get out of your spiritual journey. Daydreaming, I love it. Head in the clouds, maybe being accused of being delusional, got some hopes and dreams, but there's a new opportunity incoming and something that's actually going to be genuinely successful. And I find it interesting that we do have puzzled because it's one of these things where how am I going to puzzle this together? I think a few of you guys are probably considering starting a business, get that domain, researching how does one start a business and get a domain? How do these dot coms work? But I feel like whatever you guys have been releasing from the past, there's been some baggage that you've had to jettison. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I feel like this week is going to be a lovely time for you to start making some genuine intentions as to what it is you want. Write that shit down. Where did we leave you off last week? Lust. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Like, you've had a lot of energies that have been trying to glom back onto, like, got the strawberry, like, there was a compliment. You are a very tasty person. So regardless of what you were up to last week, no judgment. Personally, I hope you had a chance to have a little fun, maybe be a little bit indulgent. But when we saw that the nightlife card, just before I cut the deck, it's a bit of a reminder that okay, you had your cake, you got to eat it too. I'm sure it was nice and moist. God damn. I feel like someone got laid. But like I feel like your energy is lightning. I feel as though like whatever it is that you've been working through, like there's been a bit of a breakthrough. And this doesn't have to be literal sex. Like this could just be having fun you with innuendo. But sexuality, there's a lot of creativity that is associated, and also being able to cleanse out your sacral chakra, in a lot of ways healing your emotionality. Like, I feel as though you guys have gone through this whirlwind of emotions, especially if you've had to put up those boundaries, recognize why you let people go, knowing that you can't just allow people to just traipse themselves back into their life, even if they are being well intending. Like, you're learning how to become the boss. And I think that's why I'm also picking up this new business energy. It doesn't have to be literal. You could be upskilling in order to get a promotion at work. Others of you are considering careers, going back to school. Because really, at the end of the day, as much as it is fun to check out the soap opera that is your life, it is about seeking your personal purpose and understanding what the roadblocks that have been placed in front of you that blinded you and distracted you from discovering what it is that brings you joy and brings you purpose. I feel like you had a bit of a breakthrough quite recently. I love that. The Hierophant underneath there. The lovers. Holy shit. So one of the timelines last week, we actually no, each timeline, one timeline had the lover, the other timeline had the Hierophant. So it's a bit of a confirmation that no matter what timeline you picked last week, this still applies to both of you guys. Like, that's why I'm kind of enjoying this particular fun format. What do we have at the top here? Like, maybe it was too good to be true. Like, don't overthink it. Like, if you did something and you kind of have some low key regret about it, learn from it, understand why you made the choices. Was it impulsive? Was it not? But in the end, whatever happened last week, try not to have any semblance of regret. This was all about you entering into a brand new timeline. If anything, to give you some clarity. There we go. Ace of Pentacles. There is something new that is manifesting within your life, and you've asked for this. And in some ways, there's nothing that you can do to fuck this up. Like, if your heart is in the right place, if you're working towards your overall happiness, not just lust. In some ways, I'm hearing lust for life, lust for your own personal sense of health and being able to care for your own sense of well being. Don't overthink it. All of us do weird things subconsciously. Sometimes we go back to the exes just to realize why we don't want to be around them. You're being more thoughtful and stable about it. Um, and it's going to be important to govern your thoughts during this time. If you did end up having a sexualized encounter with somebody who, like we saw that two-faced card, you may still have some of their energy on you. Whenever you engage with someone creatively and sexually, you do intermix your energy. So take some time to meditate and do your best to cleanse that person out of your life. Take a shower, light some incense, write down on a piece of paper, no more. Recognize how this person has behaved and get to know yourself, because you can't keep bringing in these energies that are making you second guess your sense of worth. But in the end, even if you're struggling with this, you're still manifesting. I nearly want to say manufacturing. You're still manifesting something new into your life, and this is yours. This is for you to have. This is for you to feel good about owning and governing and feeling good about being the boss of it. Let's confirm. What are your intentions is coming? God, guys, please don't tell me you went back to the ex. If you did, it's fine. But please don't tell me that you did. No, I feel like there's some, again, because we had the Hierophant, I'll shuffle. Like, you learned something. Like, whether, again, you literally hooked up with somebody, or you just had stuff welling up to the surface, some realizations, some even epiphanies. Eights are karmic, but it's sort of as though seeing something from the opposite perspective in order to bring in enlightenment. And I feel as though you're making some more thoughtful intentions to make sure that, if you, it's a little hard to see because my lighting, but there is this heart that's on the door. It's just one of these feelings where your heart is absolutely worth protecting. Because a few weeks ago, I felt like this clingy person is someone who would still try to stick their foot in the door. They try to say something to bother you, to make you open up and defend yourself. You're putting away an old lifestyle, a way of being, and entertaining energies that get off by your dysregulation. I like this. I'm talking about you're starting something brand new in order to lead to a huge brand new beginning. Because in the center of all these pentacles, because it looks like there's nine, but there's your seed that has been planted. Um, I will note this. There's at least one of you that's worried that got yourself knocked up. And I'm being told do whatever it is that you need to do, but don't overthink it. It's a little bit of a Mary Magdalene kind of feeling. Interesting. That's very unique. I think that's for one of you. Daughter of Swords. Like I feel as though you're feeling better about having conversations with people on their level. Like you know that you are worth something greater for the long term, and anyone who's clinging to you in order to keep you stuck in a low vibration, I feel like you've had this realization. You got to talk to them at their level. And even if this energy has been spying on you, there's it's sort of like you don't even want to give them a show. Like I have to really congratulate you. Okay, at first I was really, really worried. It's sort of like your friend shows up, you haven't spoken for a while, it's like, I've made a big mistake. And it's like, what did you do now? But I actually feel like you guys are getting a little bit better at knowing like you can't be intense with this energy because they will meet you at that level of intensity. If you yell and scream and get into a fight, it can lead to hate sex. And there are people who just think that the argument is the only thing that keeps you together. And that's what keeps that clingy energy holding on. But there's something about you just dialing it down. And you may not be accustomed to dialing it down. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am a Murphy. I am hella Irish. I came from a family where we are very expressive. I myself definitely being the more expressive one. But there's something about realizing just toning it down, feeling cool about toning it down, knowing that there's a power in silence, there's a power in listening, because there's something about just letting the person be who it is that they are, so they can actually just reveal their true nature. This person doesn't even understand that they're being clinging. They don't even understand that they're being actually very obnoxious. What's your mood for this week, Masked? Like, in some ways, oh, Queen or Freddie Mercury's like, play the game, play the game. There's something about just, in some ways, going incognito. I feel like you're kind of going out of your way to be a little bit of I joke about the alien scientist that comes down to Earth. And it's like, if you were to observe humanity from a very alien perspective, like, what are you seeing about this? Like, you got into the situation in the first place. And just because you got into it, it doesn't mean you need to beat yourself up with shame and remorse. Oh, oops, I did it again. Like, I'm getting a lot of these musical references today. But if you're willing to kind of sit back and be an observer of your reality, like in some ways, while you may appear masked and you're just kind of playing along with something, in some ways it's to not disturb what's going on right here because you're trying to see people for who it is that they are. Part of it to give yourself permission to move forward, but the other part of it is just there's something interesting in here because we saw the Hierophant and the Lovers, and there's a few of you, you're entering into your soul purpose, you're giving yourself permission to start pursuing your dreams. Your story is part of that journey. You're trying to close out a cycle, and I want to encourage you. You're trying to permanently close out this cycle. Like you're trying to take this, bury it down, put cement on top of it, never to be seen ever again, so that you can finally start being genuinely happy, not pretending to be happy, masking in order to make other people feel as though they could be comfortable within your presence because everyone's dysregulated. The Tower, like you are in this lovely position, even if it is just you're reserving your energy and just using this opportunity to observe because you want to be happy. Because if you're happy, your life will never be the same and you'll never be tempted by these clingy energies ever again. You'll just see them for their maturity level with where they are at. And you it's sort of like, okay, they're a client, they're a patient, but they are not my peer. Because a lot of you are going to start manifesting brand new relationships, like friendships, business relationships, because I was getting a lot of this intention about starting a business, you starting your own practice, like whatever that means to you, doing something that's on your own terms that aligns to the person who it is that you actually are. Um, because you've been dreaming about this for a very long time, and you might have dismissed it because it felt as though it was unattainable. What is your official intention for this week? Oh, Archangel Michael, protection, intervention. Wow, I can't word right now. Like there are no words to explain how divinely protected you are. I think that's coming up because a few of you might feel bad that you're masking and not really showing your cards. But the problem is you're protecting yourself from people that would take advantage of you. So in some ways it's okay because you're still not fully out of this garbage. You're still not away from these people. It takes a little while for your 3D reality to adjust to the person that you are becoming. That's why this Eight of Swords, along with the Ace of Pentacles, was showing up here underneath the card of lust. You're going to be tempted. Like you're going to be going through temptation island, and it's going to be a bit of a cycle because the universe is trying to figure out, do you truly want to 110% close this out? Are you willing to tolerate certain things? And if so, like, I'll add that to the recipe, I'll add that to the docket. Do you not want this? Okay, cool. Like the universe is actually trying to gauge your order, and in a lot of ways try to figure out what order you would like to have your happiness manifest. Um, but there's actually something about feeling okay operating this way. You're not fooling anybody. That's important. I know. How come when she says it, it sounds mean? It's because you're actually, yeah, it's sort of like I'm hearing den of thieves. You've been colluding with the enemy, and until you're able to get fully away from this, you have to kind of work along with it, but you're making slow decisions that are in favor of your long-term happiness. And that's why Archangel Michael is showing up here to let you know that as you're working through the 3D this week, you are very protected, and when we go to split the timeline here in a minute, we're going to get some very specific information for all of you guys, but it takes great bravery to stand in your own truth because a few of you guys have been working on a survival template for such a long time. You're worried about being found out. But here's the thing, I was talking earlier about this lust card. You've actually over identified with your enemies, over identified with these clingy exes, and being very mindful of who it is you actually are is going to be your saving grace. What do we have here? You are manifesting. Like we saw a desire to close out a cycle here so that you can actually healthfully manifest. Because to open up a brand new portal, because I see this portal opening up here, it's sort of like you can only take half the tree with you. It's like there's a height restriction in your new timeline, but it's all about balancing out and being able to get onto calmer waters and be able to have some semblance of hope and optimism. Just curious. Oh, Knight of Sword. That's gonna be relevant for somebody here in a minute. Um, I'm hearing there's no one left to blame, but you can always pray for these people. And if you really want to annoy them, you can say that to their face. There's something about being just so righteously yourself in such a kind and honest way. This person is just going to be weirded out enough to unhook from you. Okay, that's really cool. All right, so it's time to split the timeline because all you guys are very unique, and there's a couple of different ways that this week could manifest for each of you guys. So let me go ahead, clear off the board. And listen, guys, if this is already beginning to really hella resonate with you, please make sure to take some time to toss me a quick comment to let me know how this might be making sense for you. When you interact with my readings, it gives me permission to read your energy. Engagement gives me consent to talk to your guides in order to get you messages that are going to make so much sense for you on your spiritual journey. I always appreciate hearing from you guys, and I want to encourage you to subscribe as well so that we can continue moving forward and week over week in order to give you the guidance that you need. Now, that said, We've got two potential timelines for you to pick from, but I want you to pay attention to these cards. You have two options, and you're going to have just a few seconds to decide which one belongs to you. I'm going to shuffle blindly, and whatever pile it lands on, that's going to be your timestamp. But here are your two options: good fortune or safe travel. You got one, two, three. Good fortune, safe travel, good fortune, safe travel. Done. All right, pile number one. If you picked safe travel, check out the description below. You're going to be pile one, and that's where you're going to be able to get some detailed information on what's next for you. And by the process of elimination, good fortune, you will be able to find your card, pile number two, in the description below, and I'll see you guys there. Hey, pile one. I know this wasn't an easy pick. It's totally okay. I'm with you all the way. I don't know why I feel like I'm talking like this way to you. Like, I think a lot of you guys have been getting out of a paradigm where you've never felt safe to be yourself, to speak your mind, just to be who it is that you are. And this is a lifetime habit that you're learning to karmically clean up from the inside out. I am going to shuffle, but we do have a Page of Pentacles. This is you learning through experience. This is the student of the streets, and a lot of ways learning who is worthy of your love and attention. I get the sense you are a kind, caring, compassionate individual that thought that everybody deserved love. Why? Because you're right. But not everybody is deserving of your attention, and overgiving is sometimes the fatal flaw for those of us who've struggled with fawning trauma. We get hurt, we don't feel safe being ourselves, so we smile, we fake it till we make it. And that's why that masking card we saw in the core part of the reading, that could feel very difficult, especially for you guys, because I have this sense of sadness in the undertow, because it's like, I don't want to be that monster, but I don't know any other way of dealing with this. As long as you don't stay stuck, you will be able to move forward. There's a lot of permission in here from your divine team that you, as long as you're moving forward and not allowing yourself being stuck and duplicitous, you're going to be able to elevate out of this, and the bullshit is going to eventually fall away. I love this. We got the card of the Fool and the Moon. Really trust that you are doing exactly what it is that you're being guided to do. We're gonna have a look at this other individual, see what their, what their fucking deal is, and we'll also have a look at your energy, how you could be acting, reacting, and we'll ask the ultimate question: TGIF, will it be a good Friday? We'll find out in a second. But after, look what came back: Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. I love it when shit like that happens. Like, this is a reset. This is your divine reset. And like, what's this other person's deal? King of Pentacles. I'm gonna grab the big. Yeah, there we go. Four of Wands. Like, if you picked pile one from last week, I think there's a bit of a continuation narrative. And if I recall correctly, it was somebody that you felt as though, or they felt as though they could have had a life with you, but this person, I don't know, they feel kind of stubborn. I think I want to warn you, just in case, if you're getting this vibe, this is just to confirm it. You know where you are at. Like, I feel as though you are in a state of humbleness. You recognize your mistakes. This person over here that you've been dealing with, I feel like they're putting on a show, and they might act as though they're better than you. It's sort of like, well, I have a mortgage, but you rent. It's this sort of competitive vibe. And if this isn't like an ex or anything like that, this could be a sibling. Sometimes sibling dynamics can get really rotten within certain families, especially if there's this competition for proving to parents which child is the most responsible or the most worthy, or and even if this person didn't do this directly with you, they still have energies around them that are so competitive. And I am drawn to this wolf. It's a very defensive feeling, but after I go to shuffle, we got the sun. Like, I don't know. I'm not there we go. Hierophant. Like, whatever it is with this person, a light is going to be shone from your perspective. Like, it's one of these feelings where can you just see them for where they're at. Just see them for who it is that they are. And in some ways they're a bit of a product of their upbringing. Seven of Pentacles. Let me get a couple more here. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is sort of their mentality, this King of Pentacles. It's like they're just so accustomed doing the same. That's their idea of safe travel. This may have been somebody that you really admired. Maybe you had a lot of enthusiasm for in the past. Maybe they were your mentor. Like, I feel as though you may have second fiddled yourself. You may have really looked up to this individual. You really thought that they had their shit together. You could have modeled your life um, with how this person has lived theirs, but the thing is that over time, it's sort of like they never really changed. They're kind of just the same all the time, and you notice they just hold back, and that's their idea of victory. It's sort of like I'm originally from Canada, and Canadian rich is very different from American rich. Like growing up, if I came across somebody where their parents were making like $300,000 a year, they were cheap. They were so fucking cheap. It's like even if they made like triple the income compared to most other people in the region, they used coupons everywhere they went. Like this person, their only way of keeping their wealth is just to never spend it. It's just to hoard it, to hold on to it. And they think that's victory. And like, okay, sure, you can invest into the markets, and maybe there was some good idea that you got from this. This could just be bad advice from a parent using, financial tips that made sense in the 80s. And there's something about this person, they're old school. It's sort of like they say they're the king, but royalty is dying. Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And it's difficult because if you modeled your life where you admired this person, it's the repeat message of can you just see them for who it is that they actually are? Like what's your energy in all this Page of Swords? Like remember I was saying in the main reading, you got to communicate with people on their level. And here's the thing, you are learning a lot. You're getting a lot of ideas, and it's going to be very challenging because this person, you may need to defy them. And this could be just something as simple as talking to a parent about your financial strategy, and they're like, "No, you're supposed to be doing it this way." And it's like, "Yeah, I get why you say that and the way that your life has been, but that doesn't work in my reality." Like, if I'm making jokes about me being from Canada, but Canadian financial advice is very different from American financial advice. There are different systems, there are different laws, and there are different, like, tax codes. Like, it's sort of like you can take some generic advice, but there's an ask for you to start doing the research. You are on the precipice of a brand new beginning, something that you can take ownership of, especially if you're being called to start a business, take on a different job, have a career change. Some of this could manifest as, well, you can't make money as an artist. You have to continue working for the law firm. And yeah, y- I feel like you're not having it with this person, and especially with Archangel Michael. I kept the card over here just to kind of balance out this reading, but you're so protected. Like in some ways, some might accuse you of being arrogant and naive and childish, but I'm sorry, if you're in your 40s and someone's accusing you of this, it just means that there's a traditional person that they care about you. I don't get the sense that this person's malicious, but they're not willing to see it with your circumstances. They don't have the energy to give you good advice. Like, this is someone that, you're not going to pay them for their advice, so there's no real reason to listen. I like that we have the Son of Cups, and a Mother of Pentacles. It's kind of a talk about here. It's this person, they're giving you way too much advice because they're worried that you're just gonna go back to them and ask them for money, and you're like, "That's not what I'm doing." Like, speaking to this person with where they are at, and in some ways, you taking ownership of your journey, you're doing the research, you don't need to prove anything, but it is gonna be important to write things down, come up with a plan, to actually be thoughtful about your brand new beginning because you are trying to manifest something that is involved with your happiness. Like this person over here, they did a job because it was secure. I was making a job about being a lawyer. The lawyer, the doctor, a lot of people 80s and 90s went into jobs that they went in it for the money but they never went in it for the passion, and we all have mental health problems and having heart attacks for no reason. So there's something about, recognizing, hey, my mental health is important. Like if you're 40 and this person's 80, like your priorities of the long term are both very different, and it's okay for you to take care of yourself. It's okay for you to start exploring things that do involve your happiness, your purpose, your overall well being, and you're balancing out. This person isn't balanced. They're just walking in a straight line, pretending that it's balance, balancing checkbooks, balancing budgets, and they consider that to be victory. And again, maybe that's worked for them, but if you deviate from their plan, they start coming up with all these different rules, and it contributed to this dysregulation. We've got the lovers. Like, look at the color variation between you over here and this other person over here. Like, there's vibrancy. Yeah, you're on a naive path, but it doesn't mean that what you're doing is stupid. Like, I really have to emphasize, if you're following your heart and you're working towards balancing out what's going on in your mental space and your physical space. You're honoring the flow of time. You're writing down your goals. You're making actual intentions. You're seeking out help. You're bringing in people who will be able to support you. This person can't support you. They've already decided what is good for you, and it's not. It's safe to travel away from this. You can still love them, you can still have compassion, in a lot of ways I feel like you can be slightly more mature, because I think we saw a Knight of Swords. Like, I'm glad it wasn't a Knight of Swords that showed up, because that could be like, ah, fuck you, I'm gonna do whatever I want. This is more diligent. You're willing to actually honor where it is that you are at, and it means that you're cultivating love. Like, because again, we do have this Knight of pardon me, not the Knight of Pentacles, although it feels that way. You're creating a solid routine and a flow of reality that honors you, that honors your happiness. What a concept. Ultimate question though, what kind of Friday are you going to be able to look forward to? Fry-yay or fry-nay? What is, whoa, 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 look what showed up. The world. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Like, this is a really cathartic world card. Like, it may involve a conversation, or if anything, maybe a difficult realization. But notice how this gal going through this enlightening circle, I'm seeing the flower of life. This is opening up to the cosmos, opening up to your savant self. This person over here, in the name of safety and security, they tamped down your childlike nature. Why? Because they cared about you. Like, it was their own weird twisted way of them caring about you. And I feel like you can just forgive it and move forward and do your own thing. It's sort of like, if you fucked up so many times because you've had to rebalance something within your life, if you learned the lessons, well, what do you have to fear? You can move forward. You've gotten yourself out of bad situations before. And 21, that's a 3 in numerology. We got a 3 right here. Like, look for those synchronicities. They're just confirmations to let you know you are on the right path. Got the card of the devil. Like, this is you walking away from a timeline that made you feel as though you had to follow false light, false hope, false information as well. There we go. And in a lot of ways, learning how to quiet your mind, because you've had so much dysregulation and your body has been hyper reactive because you didn't want to disappoint this energy. You really didn't. But it's no longer valuable. Like, the person's valuable, but their advice is no longer valuable because it doesn't make sense. You know what's right for you. You know yourself best. This is putting an end to self defeating thoughts, putting an end to allowing other people to dictate what is right for you. Like the lovers over here, you're going to be able to find coaches, you're going to be able to find people who are also pursuing their personal passion and they love what they do. Like, if anything, if you love what you do, you seek out other people who also love what it is that they do, and that love generates income. That love generates information, hope, abundance, being able to live your life, not survive through life. Six of Swords. And we also have, I got it. You got the nest egg. Like, in some ways, yes, whatever it is that you're getting into will require some investment. It will invest some time. There's going to be a lot of self reflection that you're going to have to face, but you don't need to involve this person. They mean well, but they're not mature enough to actually help you. It's sort of like the way that they could help you. That karmic contract, it's complete. You can just leave it be, just close it up, and in some ways, you don't need to involve them in whatever this is supposed to be. You can tell them about the victory after the fact, but in some ways, they can't go along with you for the journey. Wow. So, kind of energy will my lovely pile one be able to embody as they forge readily the week ahead? You have so much divine permission to do the thing that your heart desires. What kind of world are we going to live in when we are just running into and encountering people who love what they do? They love to teach what they know. And all of us are able to magnetize the finances, the resources, the information, and like, I'm hearing like life's cheat codes in a way that works for everybody. This is an abundant mindset that you are walking into. I love it. We have the Chamber of Initiation, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment. Make the intention. I'm being told you have to write this down. Write down your ideal life. Think of it as if you were retired today and you got to live a vacation for the rest of your life, knowing that you are fully taken care of, that all of your needs are constantly met, that you can follow your flow of energy. What kind of life would you have? What would you be doing? How would you be feeling? Where would you be going? Write this down on a piece of paper and reread it to yourself every single night. You're being encouraged to start declaring your intentions to the universe, to the me, myself, and I. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else except yourself. You got this. You know what it is that you desire. I'm just saying. Wow. Well, pile one, however it is your week manifests, damn. I sincerely hope that this helps. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like my style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. And if you're kind of curious how next week is going to manifest for you, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries. Welcome in, pile two. If you're here, you intuitively picked the good fortune card, and who doesn't want good fortune? Like, oh, it's cute. Like my forehead is just super itchy. It's like, do I have hair tickling my forehead? Nope. Like, there's some kind of, this is a dope activation, man. At the base of the deck, I'm going to shuffle and we're going to get some detailed messages to help you through the next week. But I do have this quick-witted Knight of Swords, kind of going back and forth on a bunch of things, but it's all in the name of getting rid of some serious burdens. Like, I feel as though you're going to start speaking up and starting to be a little bit more proactive in the way that you deal with all the bullshit. You've had a lot of things that have been, in this case, because of the beaver, dammed up that have gotten in the way, and you've been over dedicated to the wrong energies. So we're gonna have a look at what these external energies could be up to. I don't even know for you specifically if this is an actual person. This could be a lifestyle, a community, your career. We'll find out in a moment. We'll also see how you're reacting to this situation. And we'll also have to ask the ultimate question, TGIF, is it going to be a fry yay or a fry nay? So after we go to shuffle, got the star. Like, you are I nearly made the same kind of flub in the other reading. You are manifesting your dream life. And in a lot of ways, if you've struggled feeling as though life has been against you, jellyfish, they're beautiful to watch, but oh my God, never touch these guys. You will wholeheartedly regret it. But there's something about being standoffish. Like, if you keep meddling with this, you're going to knock yourself off course because I am noticing the compass. Really trust, because we have temperance and we also have Archangel Michael. I'll shimmy him over into the reading a little bit more. In order to make the most of this protection energy, it does require you to not meddle in what's happening. Not Don't keep poking the jellyfish, you will get stung. Like, unless you're sadomasochistic, I still don't recommend it. There are way better ways to hurt yourself if that's what you want. I feel like there's an old energy. Suddenly my headache shifted from the front into the sort of like the headband part of my brain. You've had a lot of people around you that have been addicted to pain, and you yourself could have been addicted to pain as well. And a lot of the times, if we have that addiction, it means that we're trying to force ourselves to feel bad in a way where we feel as though we are in control. Because the fear, if we're addicted to pain, PTSD, and all the like, if we just surrender and allow things to happen, it's the fear of losing control. But because you are going through a change, a metamorphosis, I do see the card of 13. Last week, we also had 13 being the divine feminine. This is the lost tribe. This is discovering yourself, discovering a group of people that actually do have your best interests at heart. But there's an ask for you to start being a little bit more thoughtful in addressing your past pain, because you don't want to bring it with you into the new life, but constantly poking at it is just going to cause you a even bigger headache. There we go. 6 of cups. This is some stuff from the past that you're going to be asked to just have a look at. If you have access to therapy, I highly recommend that you take advantage of that resource and start thinking about, can you imagine a life that's pain free? Like, what does it mean to be not in pain? There's actually some kind of mentality within here you're being asked to take a thoughtful look at, to be an enjoyment, to acknowledge that your body is reacting. You've been taught to ignore your body's signals. And when we have to listen to our bodies again, that could be triggering. This week is not going to be an easy one for you. Like, it isn't going to be easy, but you are divinely protected. What do we have down here? Queen of Wands, because it's going to be tempting to put on a good show, be brave for other people, because we did see that card of masked in the main reading. And there's going to be a bit of a temptation to go back to old ways, kind of hop around, be nice, be cool, be the thing. But when you're doing that, you're trying to protect yourself from something that could harm you. It's a perceived harm. What are the external energies around you? Like, no wonder you're feeling antsy. Like, maybe you've been ghosted, maybe you've lost contact with somebody. I'm gonna grab my fairy tale deck. Ace of Cups is naturally at the base. This particular card, there's sprigs of belladonna. Belladonna is it can be used as a medicine and homeopathic remedies. It's great for fever, and delirium. But I actually feel as though if there's someone that's sort of disappeared, they're not communicating with you, they're not giving you the answers that you seek, but they keep acting as though they're full of good fortune, because rabbits are supposed to be lucky, but this is a delirious rabbit. Like, it's actually not there. You're being asked and guided, you know, rather than poking the situation, maybe someone's made a promise to you. Maybe you thought, well, okay, this card suddenly bursted out. What is this? Ace of Swords. There's someone who's doing the runaround on you. This is a very critical warning at this time. We got Six of Wands, someone who they act as though they have the right answers. They act as though they have the victory, but they keep in secretly, they're actually fucking up a lot and they're not communicating this with you. What do we have also at the top? We do have Eight of Wands. This is someone who, oh, they're so confusing. Okay, what do we have here? You keep giving them a chance. And it's one of these things where you may not hear from them for months. And then they show up and like, oh yeah, okay, let's start working on this. This could be like someone that you're working on like a side gig with, and you feel as though you could make a lot of good money with them, and maybe at first you did, but something about this well has dried out. And it's easy to rationalize with people like this to be like, well, they travel a lot. Well, they work 3 jobs. Well, I'm not fully involved in their life. Like I feel as though you've been constantly self-rationalizing yourself around this energy. But the problem is every time they come back, it's getting worse. Like at first it seemed great. They seemed like they're going to be the key to your good fortune. We got a moon over here, a moon over here, this droplet's here. Like, but this is false. And again, I'm looking at belladonna. Like I was saying, it can be used as a homeopathic remedy, but if you take it as like a tincture, it's poisonous. It makes you see things that are not there. This person's not well, the way that I'm seeing it. And they just kind of pop in with a brand new idea, and it's all of a sudden, then they get you to power through it very quickly. This is less of a single circumstance that you're going to go through this week and more of like a cycle, like to see somebody for who it is that they actually are. This person is afraid of being found out, and they only show up when they feel like they can control the narrative. Sometimes the Ace of Swords is about controlling very specific information, and it's like they're trying to hide the mess that's going on in the background. Like I've dealt with energies like this before, and this person, they're not trustworthy. Like, do whatever it is you think it is you want to do, but if what it is that I'm talking about, sort of like they're a little bit delirious, but I saw that Queen of Wands underneath here. Like this person is very charismatic. They actually do know how to impress other people. They've had some past success, but without you knowing, something's gone wrong in the background, and they're trying to get you to help them fix it without giving you all of the correct information. And they're trying to make sure that you stay surface level. They're trying to hype you up in order to make you feel like you're valuable, but this person won't be able to pay you. Like there's no pentacles here that's showing up, and this person is not being forthright. They're not, it's sort of like you don't even know where they're getting their money from. Like there's a lot going on within here, and my sacral chakra is suddenly feeling very uncomfortable. This person's dealing with a lot of shame because they know what it is that they're doing. They know they're actively lying to you. They know that they're hiding information, but they just don't know how to operate. This person, eh, they're stuck in the past. They're stuck with the past version of you, and you're growing, you're moving forward. And especially for those of you who I've talked about, masking and stuff like that, in some ways, you being able to slow down and kind of watch the rabbit go by and not give in to this hyped up power through, let's do this. Oh my God, it's going to be so awesome energy. And being able to temper yourself, it's going to give you the lens to see this person for who it is that they are and what it is that they are actually doing. How are you reacting in this? I like this. I really like this. Yeah, I kicked it over and the lust card showed up. Like this could be like someone, say if you're attracted to the opposite sex, but this person is the same sex as you, but it's sort of like, in another life, in a past life, I'm sure, like, if I was gay, I would totally be with you. Like, there's a lot of this sacral misfiring that's going on. And this person, they are struggling with being in and out of their masculine energy. And it kind of depends what polarity you're usually accustomed to. This channel, usually my intention is to talk to feminine energy, but it's sort of like this person's going in and out of their masculine, and in some ways you're just being kind of asked, like, you've already started something with someone, like, and you're being asked to really be thoughtful about what's actually happening here, because the eggs are starting to break open, but it's this feeling as though there's nothing inside. And you're being asked to be thoughtful before jumping into the next thing, before jumping onto the next project. You have to see what the fruits of your labor are before you start something new, because I'm sorry, there's cover up energy here. Someone's trying to cover something up, and it's one of these things where if they think that they could gloss over this issue, oh, I can fix this, I can fix this, it just means that I have to do this thing, and then I can fix that thing, and then I can go back and then fix the thing. Like, this person's a fucking mess. Like, I only spent like 5 seconds running around in their crazy brain, and I got hot flashes. Like, this person, it's again, this is a feverish pitch. This person's ignoring their emotions. They're trying to please somebody from their past. They're trying to avoid something, but I'm really glad seeing your energy here. Like, this person's promising you the moon and they're delivering emptiness, and you have to see it for what it truly is. Two of Cups. I was, saying earlier about, same-sex attraction, making a joke of it. Six of Cups. Like, this is someone that you've had a karmic romantic relationship in a past life, and that's why some of this is confusing. Like, you see this is more like a raven, but raven here, we'll say that's a raven there. Um, there's someone that you've had this relationship in the past where you were magnetically drawn towards each other. I feel like you're both like warriors, because Nine of Wands can be a little bit of the wounded warrior, but this person hasn't detached from their past. They haven't been taking the lessons from the South Node, and you have been. You've been growing, but unfortunately, you're kind of in this frustrating point where you have to decide, is it worth sticking through for maybe good fortune, or do you cut and run? Because if you cut and run, it means you have to admit that you have nothing. And here's the thing, this person is not willing to admit they have nothing, but they have nothing. So the question is, are you willing to admit that you have nothing? Like, you have something. You have yourself. Like, this person has a bunch of empty, random, let's just make it up as we go kind of bullshit. But you have learned something very cool through this interaction, even if it feels as though it could have been a failure. We also, wow, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. What else do we have? Four of Swords. Um, like, you're just being asked to kind of just look at it for what it is. Like, you started off with nothing before, but it's not nothing. You started off with yourself. Like, every good, amazing idea starts off with, hey, there's something that I love and enjoy doing, and I'm passionate about. I would love to get started and a fiery, brand new beginning on your own terms, but it does require you to calm your brain down at this time, because in some ways, I don't know if you could rationalize with this person. In some ways, it may just be as simple as, I quit, I'm done, go away. Like, I feel like you just have to say no to this person and let them go for their freak out, and then they'll just leave you alone. But there's an ask for you to start considering. It may feel as though you're letting go of something, but you're letting go of potential. You're letting go of a timeline that doesn't actually exist. And even if you could get to this good fortune, this money would be so hella karmic. It would come and bite you back in the ass. You're just being asked to see it for what it is. You started from nothing, but you are something. This is a beginning point. And while the only pentacles are here and it's empty, you still have a sense of worth. You have grown through this. And if anything, learning that who is worth your time and energy, whether if they're a past life soulmate or someone that you can have a clear karmic path with, you need to start considering, is this person worth your time and energy? And is the payoff going to be worth it? Because there is no payoff. Like, how long have you been dealing with this person? Like, seriously, how long? Like, 13 years? I don't know, 7 years? How long have you been dealing with this person and there still is no payoff? If you're working a day job and then adding in an extra 13 hours a week, because I keep looking at that number, to help this person, hoping to make a few extra bucks, and maybe at first you did, but there's nothing from it. They keep getting you to restart projects. They keep coming up with reasons why they can't pay you. They come up with stories about how deals have fallen through. This person's a storyteller, but they don't know how to make money from their stories. And there's an ask for you to take this story and move forward with it as a lesson, as a karmic a karmic completion so that you can just recognize that you can't allow your emotions and your thoughts to be dictated by someone who just jumps in and makes you think you're going to appease them with the first brilliant idea. Brilliant being in air quotes. Oh man, this is one hell of a week. This is a really rough week for you guys. So, despite all this bullshit, like, is it going to be a Friday the 13th or will you actually have a nice Friday? What's some high priestess like? The headache has moved again. It's sort of like a little bit of an in between. Like I feel as though you're going to see the situation for what it is. Like this person with the moon, they are intentionally hiding stuff, but with the high priestess here, you're seeing it for what it is. Like this good fortune is you recognizing when you're giving your energy to karmic situations, when you are giving up your energy to people who are chronically lying. You are a very fortunate person. Actually, I do intend, I want to see what is it that you're going to realize that you are capable of, that this person, they don't get to touch that. Like there's something about your gifts and your talents. This person, they don't have divine permission to touch you. And you need to walk away from that because you're way more valuable than what this person is valuing you at, the emperor. Like there's an ask for you to really think about being self-established. Starting again sucks. I've been there. Like, I've been through bankruptcies, I've been through layoffs, I've been through all kinds of shit, like moving from country, getting divorced. Starting again sucks. But you have what it is that you have. You have your sense of self-worth. No one can take that away from you. You already have your skills. You've learned something from this, and you have every divine permission to take it and be inspired in order to make it work for you. What do we have? Wheel of Fortune. Regardless of whatever this was, you needed to go through this. There was some old karmic timelines. This needed to get blown out. This person needed to be removed. Like they made some weird covenant with you in a past life that made you feel obliged to them. It's sort of like you got married to them, but you did not declare death do us part, and the contract continued even through death. This is designed to help you realize you don't need to honor this contract anymore. This person needs to be released and go on their own way. Page of Cups. Like this is a brand new beginning. And I feel as though there's a lot of freedom. This is you taking your Ace of Cups and you finding your own inspiration. You know, we got the bunny rabbit here, but this is an illusion. And this is welcoming in something real into your life. This is something that you can foster, something that will teach you something about yourself that is kind, that is loving. And what else do we have here? Five of Wands, so that you stop engaging with this kind of bullshit. Like you have operated being somewhat naive, and that's not meant to be offensive whatsoever. But this person took advantage of your good nature, and because you were a good natured person, you said, sure, it sounds like you got something cool. I feel like I could get something out of it, but you've gotten nothing out of it. The contract is stale and the contract needs to be closed out. And in some ways, you're just being asked to maybe write it down on a piece of paper and tear it up and say, I'm done with this person. Contract complete. So, what kind of high vibing energy can pile number two be able to embody so that they can discover their own good fortune without having to surrender it to toxic energies outside of them? What do we have here? And again, my headache has moved over to the left side. This is fascinating. The spiral of life, movement, opening and unfolding. You are spiraling into control with this timeline. You may have had the false idea that you need to tie yourself to karmic individuals because you can't do it on your own. But there is something that you are learning to help self establish in order to have healthier alliances. But you must move forward. You must make the intention to open up to your infinite potential. You are eternal. You are infinite. You contain all the information from within that you need in order to understand who it is that you are, what it is that you're here to do in the world. Continue to walk in towards your purpose, leave your past behind, and open yourself up to infinite possibilities that open you up to your purpose, that open you up to a life of pleasure, and give you the good fortune you know you deserve. I'm just saying. Wow. Well, pile number two, however it is your week manifests, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like my style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. And if you're kind of curious what's going to happen next week, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.